So good evening, one and all, and welcome to our 19th Talk of Webinar series organized every Thursday by the IEEE Malabar subsection. Today, as we know that for the past 18 talks, we had eminent persons from different sectors and right now this has been continuing, and we have started this webinar due to this pandemic situation because we are unable to conduct face to face. So we have started this program, this which is called as webinar, right from June month, and today we are in the 19th talk. And as we had earlier eminent persons from different sectors, today also we have from academics, who is associate professor from Jain University, Bangalore, and he is none other than my close friend Dr. Uma Pavan Kumar.
Yeah.
So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of IEEE Malabar subsection,
Thank you.
as
Thank you
well
very
as
much.
I welcome all the participants who have taken their time to attend this webinar. So before we start this webinar, I ask Dr. Shabira ma'am to introduce our speaker to the audience. So I hand over to Ms. Shabira.
Thank you, Sabik sir. Hope I am audible.
Yeah.
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 So before introducing the speaker, I have some instruction to the participants. Please disable your audio and video in order to save the data and for smooth conduct of the program. Only speaker audio will be enabled for smooth lecturing. Any queries can be informed through chat window, and this will be discussed at the end of the session. So today's webinar is on Hadoop and MapReduce. So we have an eminent faculty to introduce the topic, that is Dr. K. Uma Pavan Kumar. He is an associate professor, Jain University, Bangalore. He has PhD in computer science and engineering from Pondicherry Central University. He has experience in corporate trainings in R, Python, big data with Hadoop, and data science for the companies like IBM, Genpact, NIIT, LearnTech, and NextGen Technologies. He has experience in designing the course curriculum for the courses like Python, machine learning, data science, and big data with Hadoop for various universities, autonomous colleges, and corporates also. He has more than 50 publications in both international journals and conferences. He has organized many workshops, FDPs in this area of Hadoop, big data, and machine learning. So with this, I welcome you, sir,
Thank you.
to the webinar on Hadoop and MapReduce.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, and thank you for giving the opportunity. Because in fact, Saupik is my best friend. Because of that, due to heavy online classes, also I accepted the thing, and of course, I love teaching. Basically, to introduce these kind of the technologies, like all these Hadoop, big data, MapReduce, and data science, machine learning. So as a part of that particular thing, I want to explore so the fundamentals of these particular things, because many people are having a myth of like these particular technologies are very tough and all. Friends, one thing, the main purpose of introducing this particular Hadoop and other ecosystem tools is fundamentally to avoid or to reduce the lines of the code. Maybe the people are having different kinds of the background, and they wanted to enter into the field of this big data and Hadoop, even for their research or for their academic publications and all. So even in case of the teaching also, many members won't agree, even for professors or higher grade people also, because they're having the myth of this is a tough or something like that. But let me introduce in a different genre, friends. Okay, so like let me start with what exactly the Hadoop and distributed file system, and thereafter what do you mean by MapReduce and all. So first, if you are before starting Hadoop or MapReduce learning, you should have the knowledge of Google file system or Google MapReduce, friends, because one of the important aspect while learning this Hadoop and big data kind of the techniques is they are please can you mute, friends? I am getting some echo. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So if you are referencing the first, it has started as a Nudge project, and the Nudge integrated with the Google file system and as well as the Google MapReduce, and you can download these particular two things, friends: Google file system and Google MapReduce. And this particular Google file system allows one kind of the strategy, like, you know, suppose at the moment you are entering a query so as to search or so as to verify any kind of the data you want to fetch, automatically in most of the cases, 99% of the cases, will end up our searching process in the first link itself. Suppose I want to get some material or some kind of the research articles on this big data, so just in the first page itself you can end up your search. And so Nudge integrated with Google file system and Google MapReduce, as this is a methodology with the block based kind of the storage you can observe, and MapReduce is a parallel and distributed aspect, and it uses both Google file system and as well as the MapReduce. And out of this particular thing, Hadoop split out of Nudge and it becomes the Apache project. So that is a brief description about the Hadoop, friends. Okay, and once that particular thing is over, just we need to observe the concept of ecosystem. By referencing the kind of the ecosystem, friends, just have a look on this. So if you are referencing the ecosystem, let me talk what exactly the ecosystem does. Okay, so here Hadoop, friends, basically is a framework which provides a way of storing and processing the data. Way of storing and processing the data. And for the storing, it is using Hadoop distributed file system. I'll show you how to operate these particular things. And for processing, actually for processing, we are making use of MapReduce in the Hadoop. So at the moment you are talking about this MapReduce parallel and distributed processing. This one is allowing parallel and distributed processing. And in case of the Hadoop distributed file system, which is fundamentally for the sake of storage. Okay, storage. Okay, now if you observe, Hadoop is a combination of Hadoop distributed file system and MapReduce, where this Hadoop distributed file system provides a storage and MapReduce provides processing. Okay, why we need Hadoop, friends? Suppose I'm having some the concept of the big data. Okay, can anyone with the chart can even share what exactly big data, friends? What do you mean by big data? Don't say volume, velocity, variety like that, but just in a single liner, how can you observe the big data? Can you give some scenario at least? Big data scenario. Can I get some answers? Okay, suppose meantime I'm giving one example. So if you are having any thought, yeah, I got some answer. Very good. Akash says the amount of data big companies storing every day. Shabira says social network data. Okay. Any other obligations? So let me talk about this particular example, friends. I'm having some 150 years temperature data. 150 years temperature data, and you know, this particular temperature data I'm collecting from various countries. Now my aim is each day I need to output the max temperature of the corresponding country. Okay, so whatever the temperature I am recording, so these particular things I should output the maximum temperature. So 150 years data, friends. It's not a per day or per week data. We're having 150 years data, and each year, again, each year I am having 365 days. Okay, so each day I should collect the data and I should output the data. And similarly, as our friends told, like, you know, the Facebook and as well as Twitter and LinkedIn, all these things are generating huge amounts of the data. I will give some example, friends, in this regards. If you are observing the kind of the data, of course sensor data, uh, I will give some example of Facebook, how much data it is generating. Within the slide only I'm having that thing. Okay, just you can have a look on that. If you are referencing the example of the Facebook, it is generating huge amount of the data. You can have a look on this actually. Let me move that. Yeah, have a look on this, friends. In the 20-minute span of the time in the Facebook, these many wall posts has been shared and these many links have been shared, event invites, tagged photos, messages sent, and status updates, photo uploads, comments, friend request accepted. Within the span of 20 minutes, it's not in a day or in a week or in a month or a year, friends. In the span of 20 minutes of the time. So just we are making use of these many things related to the Facebook. Now, at the moment I am talking this one, of course, the highest used social media related to the applications is the Facebook. Of course, we know that. And if you are observing this kind of thing, friends, actually 206.2 million internet users in the US, and that means 71%, 71.2% of user or users in US are web audience on Facebook. Okay, and Facebook users spend 10.5 billion minutes online on the social network, and on an average it has 3.2 billion likes and comments every day. Okay, and one of the important aspect is 750 million photos were uploaded to Facebook over New Year's weekend. So that is what, friends, how you can observe the huge amounts of the data. Now at the moment I am talking about the second highest used the social media is the Twitter actually. So can you observe the last 3 points, friends, remaining all same? So just how many users are there and all these things. Can you have a look on last 3 points? 79% of US Twitter users are more like to recommend brands they follow, and 67% of your US Twitter users are more likely to buy from brands they follow, and 57% of all companies that use social media for business use Twitter. At the moment you are tracing these particular things, which is giving the scope of huge amounts of the data. It is populating huge amounts of the data. And of course, no matter whether I am using the Twitter, Facebook, or whatever the things, you can make use of. Yes, make use of these particular examples, like what I have told in the earlier thing. And now, one more important thing is, what is the usage of these things? Okay, um, Harshul Agarwal, he is telling hello. Okay. So if you are referencing these kind of the convention, please you go on mute here because I am getting some disturbance actually. Sabik sir,
Okay,
some
okay,
other,
okay, okay, fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, some
yeah.
other members, yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. So, and now at the moment we are talking about, at the moment you are talking about the ecosystem. So let me talk about this ecosystem, friends, because at the moment you are storing or processing the data. So there are certain possibilities, friends, like which are all the possibilities is, first one is the storage it is providing, and second one it is providing the processing. It means here Hadoop, friends. And third one is export or import the data, export or import the data. And next option is once the export and import is done, NoSQL space. Let us discuss what exactly that is, friends. NoSQL. And thereafter, once these particular things is over scripting and as well as querying of the data, and thereafter some kind of the machine learning support. Machine learning support. Now, if you refer these different capacities, okay, and one more important thing is we are having job scheduling, and thereafter just we are having some kind of cluster management. Cluster means, friends, some group of machines which are trying to perform, which are running parallelly so as to achieve some particular task. Now, at the moment you are talking about this storage, we are having Hadoop distributed file system. For the processing, we are having MapReduce, friends. And for the sake of import or export the data, if you are running with structured data, we are having Scoop. And if you are running with unstructured data like audio, video, or images, then you can go with the Flume. And thereafter, if I'm talking about the NoSQL, maybe some users not interested to have this normalizations, or they may not have the indexing, and they don't want to use the primary key or foreign key kind of thing. They can make use of this not only SQL, friends. We may be having this HBase, MongoDB, like that. We are having various things. And likewise, to perform the scripting, we are having Pig Latin, friends, actually. So Pig Latin is a scripting language where you can observe the usage of analysis of the data, and querying with the Hive, and machine learning support. So you can make use of either RHDFS or RMR, like that. We are having some support of these things. And for the scheduling of the jobs, we are having Wooji support. So Wooji is a tool where you can schedule various jobs, and the entire cluster management can be done with Zookeeper, friends. Okay, likewise, we are having various aspects related to the Hadoop environment. Okay, so storage wise, you are having Hadoop distributed file system. Processing, you will be having MapReduce. For the sake of export or import, suppose you are having some MySQL data, and if you want to export your data, or if you want to import the data, then you can go with the Scoop. Provided Scoop is a tool where you can make use of structured kind of the data. Whereas if I want to load some kind of the data related to unstructured format or semi-structured like JSON, XML, all these format, then you can go with the Flume, friends. Flume. And similarly, if you are referencing the NoSQL, either HBase or MongoDB, all these things are belongs to the category of the NoSQL. And coming to the scripting, we are having the notation of the Pig Latin, so which provides some customizations, friends, like joins, sorting, ordering, all those customizations can be observed. And the people who are having the background of the data warehousing or querying, they can go with the Hive, okay, which provides some kind of query language. With the help of those things, you can implement. And one of the important aspect is there, and here the if you are considering the machine learning or data science kind of things, either Python or R programming nowadays we are using. But to store the data, we should depend on Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so it provides the integration of these particular tools along with the storage and access or process mechanism. And in the environment, friends, like, I may be using Hive sometimes, and maybe in some other location I am using Pig Latin and HBase kind of the scripts. And by using these kind of the things, and one more aspect is I may be using some MapReduce. And if I want to handle all these kind of the convention as a scheduling, then I can go with the Wooji. So Wooji is a tool where you can identify the usage of these particular tools like Hive, Pig Latin, HBase, and MapReduce, and so as to perform some kind of the scheduling, you can go with the Wooji. Now, to maintain all these conventions, because in the single Hadoop environment, in the cluster, you may be having distributed file system, MapReduce, and exporting or importing or NoSQL. All these are configured. So as to monitor all these cluster tools, we are having the Zookeeper. So Zookeeper is a tool where you can observe the usage of all these kind of the conventions. Harshul Agarwal is asking, LinkedIn profile can help in jobs apply. Definitely. All languages means, Harshul, actually, Python supports, PyHadoop is there, R programming supports, and one more important thing is he's asking like Hadoop based supported languages. Without Java, we cannot run Hadoop. So entire ecosystem designed in Java programming only, friends. No matter whatever the tools we are using, all these particular things we are making use with Java only. And R programming, we are having support of RHDFS and RMR we are having. That thing we are having, and thereafter with Python also you can integrate Hadoop. Like Spark engines are there nowadays. So Spark is a tool where you can run your scripts in Python so as to handle, yeah, which is advancement of the MapReduce, and that particular Sparks helps us so as to run the scripts in the fastest manner. Okay, that you can various languages can be observed, right? Okay. Mm, which way going? And let me uh, discuss with the hands-on friends, because maybe you are seeing many kind of the webinars purely theoretical aspects, and that's what the reason why the webinars are nowadays getting bored. Okay, so let me start with some kind of the implementation so that you will be having some satisfaction. So as mentioned earlier, this is the interface, friend. This is a purely Unix kind of the thing. Now I want to start some kind of the services. Okay, because to run with Hadoop, so just we need to have some kind of the services running, friends. That is name node, data node, and job tracker, task tracker, and secondary name node. So all these particular things, so that it is starting the name node, and thereafter it is getting started with the data node. I will explain what exactly these things, and thereafter the secondary name node, and thereafter the job tracker and task tracker. So now to observe these things, JPS gives a JVM process services. So JVM process services observes the name node, data node, task tracker, job tracker, and secondary name node. So with the help of these particular 5 services only, the Hadoop cluster can able to handle the Hadoop distributed file system and as well as the MapReduce. Now coming to the each and everything, like so suppose if I am talking about the services, based on these particular services only, I can able to activate the distributed file system and as well as the MapReduce. So services related to Hadoop. The first thing is, friends, name node actually. So this particular name node is a master node, and which maintains the metadata of the entire cluster. Okay, which maintains the metadata of the entire cluster. And second thing is data node actually. So this is a slave node which follows the instructions of the master, and actual storage of the data you can observe with the data node. And secondary name node is nothing but so as to maintain the backup of the name node, will be having the secondary name node. Next important thing is the job tracker, okay, which is master again, and this particular master node scheduling of the jobs. And if I am talking about the task tracker, so this particular task tracker is again a slave, the actual implementation of the tasks. Now, if you observe these particular 5 services, friends, name node is a service which provides the metadata of the information, and of course, which is the master node. Okay, master slave architecture is followed by the Hadoop, friend, for the sake of the availability reliability, replication. Okay, as we are talking about the distributed file system, master slave architecture is the best suitable for the distributed file system. And coming to the data node, which is a slave kind of the slave node, and which stores the actual data, okay, according to the instructions of the name node, which is storing the actual data. And coming to the secondary name node, backup of the name node, friends, actually. So name node is a single point failure. So as to avoid that particular convention, we are having the secondary name node if any problem is there, and it is also belongs to the master. And coming to the job tracker, actual assignment of the task, scheduling of the jobs, all these things are done by the job tracker. And whereas if you are running this task tracker, which is a slave machine, friends, implementation of the tasks and all. Okay, so this is what how you can observe different kinds of the services. These particular services, AWS, yeah, of course, very good question. Amazon Web Services, if you are talking, yes, of course, you can entirely create Hadoop cluster. You can make use of the Hadoop cluster, and you can access that cluster through AWS, friends. While and even one of the important thing, Databricks is there, na? Databricks company. The Databricks company also providing a separate Spark engine for you freely. And whereas if you are referencing AWS kind of the things, AWS Amazon Web Services, if you are observing, they provide clusters, friends, but they charge you. So if you are running any cluster, and they provide GPUs and all the advancements, and it all depends on your requirement. Okay, don't go with AWS because they charge more. But my suggestion is, if for your research, if you want to make use of any clusters, then better you go with the Databricks, because this provides a Spark engine inbuilt. And this Databricks also, and surprisingly, this Databricks also depends on AWS, but that cluster is with limited capacity, but you won't be charged anything. But directly, if you are registering in AWS and you are launching your cluster or something like that, then definitely they charge you more, friend. Be careful about that. Okay, so this is the convention you need to observe. And now let us run some of the commands, friends. So just as the title suggests, I need to justify the title of Hadoop and MapReduce. Hadoop, we are observing all the kinds of the daemons and all the Hadoop distributed file system kind of the things. So now we have seen some kind of the services like name node, data node, job tracker, task tracker, and secondary name node. Now the thing is, so just I want to make use of this is the local file system anyhow. So at the moment you are observing this ls, which gives all the kind of the data items, but I want to copy some kind of the data into my Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so in this particular case, friend, just I am making use of one kind of the data. So just you can make use of any data item, any data I am taking. So like local file system one. So just let me open this gedit lfs1. I'm having some file with me, so for the demo purpose. Okay, so just I want to load this particular data into the Hadoop distributed file system. This file is in the local file system actually. Okay, so we are seeing this some kind of the content we are having. Okay, the some kind of content we are having, okay, with respect to this local file system. Now what I want to do is I want to export this particular file, and this file I want to go load into the Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so let us do that. So I'm making use of LFS1, friends, actually. Okay, so 1 minute, let me share this. Yeah, I'm sharing this particular screen, right? Okay, so if you are observing this thing, friends, actually I'm having LFS1, and now I want to store the data into the Hadoop distributed file system. Further, the command is very simple: Hadoop fs hyphen copy from local. So just we are making use of a copy, and which file I want to copy? LFS1. And so just I am using webinar hdfs1, like that I am going to copy. So Hadoop fs hyphen copy from local file system along with the name of the destination. Okay, just it is launching that. Yeah, copied. Now let us run this, whether that is there or not. Hadoop fs hyphen ls. So what is the file, friends? We have just now uploaded this one, web underscore hdfs1. So we have copied that particular file, into the Hadoop distributed file system. Now let us open that. Okay, so how to do that, friends? Hadoop fs -cat. So whatever the file we are having, just you get that. Okay, so this is the way how you can observe the usage of local file system file, whatever I am having, that particular file system can be loaded into the Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, and similarly, let me copy the file from Hadoop distributed file system to the local file system. For that, the command is copy to local, whatever the file I am having, web hdfs1 to web underscore lfs1. Similarly, how we have done with copy from local. So just from the local file system, we copied the information to the Hadoop distributed file system. Similarly, we have taken one example, okay, that web hdfs1, I want to copy from hdfs to local file system. Just I am running this. Okay, and now if you see, okay, just there should be some kind of the file where you can observe the web underscore lfs1. Okay, so like this you can perform the activities, friend, just loading up the file from Hadoop distributed file system to local and local to the hdfs. Okay, and similarly, suppose I want to move a file from local file system to the Hadoop distributed file system. So just now we have created Hadoop fs move from local, whatever the file, friends, web underscore lfs1 to some kind of the name I am giving, hdfs2. Okay, so now this file should not be there, friends. It is not there actually. Web underscore lfs1, it is not there because we have moved that. And what is the file we have given? Web underscore hdfs2. Now let me check that. Let me check that in Hadoop environment. Hadoop Hadoop fs-ls. So just we have created this web underscore hdfs2. Okay, now similarly, I want to move a file from hdfs to local. Just observe here, friends, one simple orientation is there. So at the moment I am observing these things. Okay, so Hadoop fs move to local, what is the file, friends? Web underscore hdfs2. Now I am copying to web underscore lfs2. Let us see what it is saying. What happened, friends? Move to local is not yet implemented. Can you give what is the reason? Can you give what is the reason, friends? Installation, yeah, Akash, actually, you do one thing. Installation document I will provide you, no problem. Actually, the installation Play Store, it is not available. Very good. Okay, so why we cannot move a file from hdfs to local, friends? Any idea about that? Because we could able to load the file from local to hdfs, we could able to copy the data from hdfs to local, and we have done the moving of local file system file to hdfs. But at the same time, we are trying to move the file from hdfs to local. We failed actually. Failed in the sense it is not implemented. The reason is because in the distributed file system, friends, we are having replications, and the main intention of this thing is not to manipulate only the thing, is we have to store the data and process the data. That is the reason there is no movement, no moving of the file from hdfs to local, but local to hdfs you can done, you can perform. Okay, so this is how you can observe the kind of commands, friends. And apart from this, okay, so certain aspects you can observe in the browser also. Like, let me share the browser with you, friends. So let me share this installation procedure. I'll share some documents with you, friends, so don't worry. So there you can observe. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. So just this thing, what we are doing is local host. 1 minute, friend. Local host colon 50070. Just I am typing this through the browser, friends. Through the browser. Now, at the moment you are observing this browser, actually this thing, while configuring that Hadoop in the installation procedure, we have to configure. And while configuring that, we are making use of the 6789 as a port for the HDFS. So you can browse the file system, whatever the file system, without any commands you can browse. And there is a convention, like all the local file system you can get from the home. This is the local file system. Whereas if you are referencing the if you are referencing the user, this is the Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so the Hadoop distributed file system, if I am talking, so within that, whatever the files we have created, all these things you can observe. Okay, just now we have created some files. Okay, web hdfs1, web hdfs2, like that, all those files you can observe here, friends. Okay, so and similarly the same kind of the browser, okay, can be used so as to track the jobs, friends. Okay, while running the jobs, if you want to track the jobs, so in the MapReduce orientation, the people are asking about the installation. Let me give you a 2 to 3 minutes description. It is available on Play Store, maybe due to no location, that's why move to local is not working. Okay, and no, not like that, Agarwal. The thing is maybe due to no location present, that's why not actually Hadoop distributed file system, you can store the data. We are storing and we are viewing also. Whereas in case of the deletion or moving of the data, and you can delete like how you delete the directories, how you delete the files in Unix, and you can delete that file. That is no matter, but moving is not possible. That's what we are insisting on. The movement of the data from distributed file system is not possible. Okay, moving of the appropriate file system from HDFS to local is not possible. Okay, and let me give you a brief introduction about the installation procedure, friends. Simple, and if you want, means I can share the document later. So just let me share this 1 2 minutes matter, then we'll see the MapReduce, because I thought of giving the distributed file system. We have seen that, and MapReduce, one simple logic will be executing. So how to load the data and how we are going to execute that, I will show. Okay, I don't want to waste your time also. Okay, so now if you are referencing the installation procedure, there are two context, friends. Actually, let me explain context one. Windows machine you are having, and you have to install VMware. On top of that, you can install either RHEL or Ubuntu. And then, friends, thereafter you can install Hadoop. Very simple. Okay, so now, but after installation, configuration is bit tricky, friends. Not tough, a bit tricky. Okay, configuration, friends, we are having 5 files. CoreSite.xml, this is one thing. MapRedsite.xml, and CoreSite, MapRedsite, and let me open that folder so that you can have a look on that, and which are all the contents are there. You can see, friends. 1 minute. Yeah, that in the home folder we are having everything. CoreSite, MapRedsite, Hadoop environment message, like that. Practical I will show you so that you can observe that. Yeah. So in the home folder, friends, in the home folder, we are having this Hadoop, actually Hadoop folder. Within that Hadoop folder, I'm having conf. Now 5 files we have to configure. Let us discuss. One is the core site. Core site we have to configure, and thereafter HDFS site, MapRed site, and finally the bash RC is also there, friends. Bash RC. Okay, so and along with these particular things, Okay, so the scheduler. So suppose exclusively if you want to maintain the scheduler, all those things can be done. So but initially your requirement is core side has to configure Hadoop environment.sh, and thereafter you can identify the HDFS site and MapRed site, and finally the bash RC. Can anyone, can I have what exactly bash RC, friends? What do you mean by bash RC? What is the use of that? Can I get some answers? Hadoop environment.sh dot bash RC dot bash RC. So how can you refer that, friends? Dot bash RC. Any Unix users here are here? XML. Yeah. Bash RC is nothing but yeah, setting the path and you to convey the appropriate information like class path, path of the appropriate Hadoop, all those things can be observed. And once you configure this thing, you need to run one command, friends. Actually, that command is Hadoop name node format, one time activity this is. And after formatting this, straight away you can start start all dot sh. Okay, start all dot sh. This is the way how you can observe the usage of installation, friend. I will be sharing the document, no problem. Now we are having hardly 15 minutes. Let us talk about the map reduce. What exactly map reduce? So here, friends, map reduce is a parallel and distributed approach of running the jobs in Hadoop. Running the jobs in Hadoop. Now, at the moment, we are talking about these conventions, friends. So, how to implement this MapReduce actually? So, MapReduce, the first point is mapper, a reducer, and third option is driver. Like that, we have to implement. What exactly mapper is? The business logic can be observed. The business logic can be observed. And if you are referencing the reducer, which is the aggregator, now driver is a program, okay, which is the main function, friends. Actually, if you are referencing the kind of the Hadoop API, okay, so the map reduce is a combination of Hadoop API and as well as Java API. Both the things can be observed. Now at the moment we are talking about the Java API, all the Java kind of the class notations and functionalities can be observed. Like I can give some examples, friend. Hadoop API in the sense int writer, okay, text, and as well as the path, file system, all these things can be observed. Now let me show you the implementation of these things. Okay, and after that we'll execute the appropriate coding, friends. Okay, let me open that Eclipse. Okay, so that we'll be having the notation of, okay, this is the format how you can implement the things. Okay, let me load this thing, friends. Eclipse, yeah, trying to load. And what are the phases actually? The phases of the running. So just we are having, first thing is split phase, friends. Any MapReduce application first start with the split phase. I'll explain what exactly those things. And thereafter, the second thing is the map phase. Third one is shuffle and sort phase. Fourth one, reduce phase, friends. Reduce phase. And split phase, you know, whatever the input I'm having, that should be converted into the key value pair. Observe here, while running any kind of the MapReduce coding, okay, the appropriate code must convert into the key value pair. Okay, whatever the input and whatever the output we are having. Okay, input and output should be in key value pair. Map phase, what it does is it takes the input from the split phase, and it is also making use of key value pairs so as to implement the task. Okay, so as to implement the task. And the map phase is actually the business logic. And coming to the shuffle and sort phase, so after getting the output from the map phase, so the entire data must be shuffled and sorted, and finally this output should be given to the reduce phase, which is the final outcome. Now tell me friends, out of these particular fours, as I am telling, Hadoop is a framework. Whether the split phase is done by framework or user need to split the data, because these two things are common. Map business logic we have to write, and aggregator function also we have to write. These things must be done by the developer, and map phase is also done by the developer. And observe friends, here you need not worry about how to split and all. It is done by framework automatically does that. And shuffle and sort also framework, because you need not shuffle the things and all. Now let us open this particular this thing friends. Yeah, user, yeah. And if you are referencing this how we are going to implement the appropriate things, let me talk about that. Eclipse, 1 minute friends. Eclipse not yet started. Yeah, it is now launching Eclipse. I'll show some basic program with you, so that we can have a observation of that thing. Now it could not identify. 1 minute. Eclipse. Okay, so 1 minute friends. While loading Eclipse, it is so that mapper, reducer, and as well as the driver code. I want to observe. I wanted to show you the how we are going to observe those particular mapper, reducer, and driver. It is taking some time. No problem. We'll wait. And once that particular thing you observe, just let me explain the programmatical aspects friends here. Okay, so the programmatical aspects, where there is a chance of running this particular code in a specific format. Okay, so there are certain steps to follow, like in programmatical aspects, how we are running the map reduce aspect. Okay, first thing is configuration of Eclipse. Eclipse configuration involves you might be knowing friends, because most of the members implementing their Java coding with Eclipse. So we have to observe the project, and within that project we can go with the package, and thereafter the package is containing some classes. Okay, so now Eclipse is ready. Yeah, 1 minute friends, because many programs were there in that. Even I am running Hive and as well as the Piglet in user defined functions, so it is taking some fun. I could have started earlier this Eclipse opening and all. Yeah, let me use this launch this time. Okay, so now these particular classes, actually 3 classes, workspace is unavailable. 1 minute friends. Okay, so no problem. So, and if you are referencing the packages, we are having certain classes friends. Those classes are a mapper class, a reducer class, and driver class. Okay, once this particular thing is over, the second important thing is we have to build the path. Build path specifies, okay, conveying the Hadoop API information. Okay, whatever the API we are, because this particular mapper, reducer, and driver workspace is currently in use. Okay, multiple things I am trying. Okay, that's what it is not launching friends. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, launcher is ready. Yeah, so just let me show you that I'll be sharing this thing, friends. In MR Logics, I'm having certain kind of the coding. So Eclipse workspace, share. Yeah, and this is the project I am talking, and within that project I designed some kind of the com.mr.www. I'm having these meaning. Okay, like I'm using this particular Eclipse for the map reduce, Hive UDFs, and as well as the Pig Latin. Now, so just as a fundamental thing, what I'm doing is just I want to show you some example. Um, Combiner logic. Okay, so just let me take this combiner. There is some kind of the logic we want to run. So just I want to show you the a representation of these things, a representation of the mapper, reducer, and driver. Okay, so now see here, friends. Okay, so here all the three programs I have mentioned, like one is the combiner, just whatever the thing we are giving, public class combiner. Within this, we're having map and as well as the reduce. And next thing is the main function. So actually this main function is the driver function, friends. Combiner is the driver function. Now, if you are referencing the usage of this mapper, reducer, and driver, and mapper as mentioned earlier, which provides the basic functionality, and a driver, you know, which is the main function actually, reference of the mapper and reducer. Reducer is the aggregator. So mapper, you can mention the business logic, and once that particular business logic has been mentioned, you can make use of those particular conventions so as to refer the mapper and reducer into the driver code. And along with that, driver is maintaining the certain information, friends, like, you know, so the job information and as well as the key value pair data and output path and where we are collecting the input. All these things are observing, friends. And next step is, once this particular thing is over, okay, so you need to observe the kind of logic, like, you know, the combiner we are using here as an example. You need to export the same. So how to export? Just to right click in the format of the jar file, right click, and you can export that particular jar. Okay, so at the moment you are right clicking, it is allowing us to export. Okay, just to select the jar file, friends, and to give whatever the jar name. So just this time what I am giving is so the jar file name is webinar mr, like that I am giving webinar mr. Okay, webinar mr.jar. So just I am finishing this and combiner logic. Okay, now once this particular thing is over, we need to go with to the appropriate thing. Okay, this thing, and now let us observe whether our jar has been created or not. ls star jar. So just now we have created this thing, friends, actually webinar mr.jar. This is the jar we have created. Now I want to run this particular code, friends. Okay, I want to run this particular code. For that purpose, we need to have certain command, friends. So let me write that command in the class shell. Okay, what is the command is, okay, so just let me run the command. The command here is, friends, Hadoop. Every Hadoop command start with Hadoop. Jar file na just now we have created webinar mr, and this webinar mr dot jar file. Again, you have to give the package name. What is the package name? com dot mr dot www dot. Our class name is combiner. Our class name is combiner, and we have to give some kind of the input. Just now we have created one input, friends, that is web underscore hdfs1 input. What I am doing is output I am taking as web underscore output. This is the command, friends, that's all. See here. So learning of Hadoop, okay, as I was given 1 hour time, so automatically I need to finish HDFS and MapReduce kind of things in this stipulated time. So of course, some considerable experience you might be getting with this, because running of Hadoop commands, very simple single liner, and running of this MapReduce, this is also kind of the single liner. So Hadoop jar file name, and as well as the package name dot driver class name, and whatever the input you are having, and you need to give the output also. Okay, now let us go with this particular command prompt. Okay, command prompt, and now we'll run the command Hadoop jar file. What is the jar file name, friends? Webinar mr dot jar. Okay, just now we have seen package name. Package name you can get from the Eclipse, friends. Okay, so just I'll show you in the beginning of the liner. Okay, so just you can observe com.mr.www. This one actually, this package, whatever the package we have created. Okay, so com.mr.www, that package name, com.mr.www dot com.mr dot combiner, some driver class name. And what is the input file name, friends? Web underscore hdfs1, and output you can give web underscore output. Just I am trying to run the code, that's all. Okay, so jar file, and as well as the package name dot class name, and at the moment you are trying this thing, friends. Okay, so automatically what it is saying is just it is creating some job code, friends. Here you can observe we are creating some kind of the job code. It has given some job number, okay, for the and the same thing you can verify with the browser also. Map, okay, map is done 100%, and now reduce is launching, and after completion of the reduce you can observe the appropriate outcome. Okay, outcome, where do you get, friends? Here, web underscore output. Within that folder we are going to get the outcome. I will show you that. Reduce also done, and here after completion of this particular code, it is giving the entire information. Job was completed, and as well as how many spilled records we are having, and snapshot information, and all the records which we are having, CPU time spent, and all the things. Okay, now at the moment, okay, let me show you which are all the contents available in output directory. Hadoop fs-ls web underscore output. This is the folder we have used for the outcome. Okay, so web underscore output. At the moment you are outputting these things, actually 3 files would be created, friends. One is the success, whether the program is successfully completed or not, and another is the log files, and finally the actual data. So observe here, friends, while running this particular code, okay, after completion of that particular code, just you will be getting this part-5 zeros. Now we need to verify the output. Hadoop fs-cat. Where do we get the output, friends? Web underscore output slash web underscore output slash part-5 zeros. That's all. So automatically, so here the intention is just we are making use of all these data items, and how many number of times those particular data items are appeared, all those things can be observed. Okay, so this is the way how you can run. Again, what I'm doing is just let me run this code once more, friends, and this time what I'm doing is I can verify this particular code in the browser. I'll show you how to run in the browser. Okay, I am not running this. Let me open the browser. Okay, just that particular browser gives us 1 minute, friends. Let me, okay, this browser, and this time, okay, just I am opening one more thing, and localhost. Okay, localhost colon 50030. Earlier I am using 50070 for the sake of observing the file system. Now this time, so just at the moment you are seeing, friend, this is the one we have already executed. This is the one we have already executed. Now what we are doing is, so just let it open. Now running jobs are not there. Next time if I am running this particular code, running job will be appeared. Okay, let us see that. Again, we are running the same code with a different output. This time I am giving output 1. So the same code. So Hadoop jar file name, and as well as the package name dot driver class name, web underscore HDFS one as the input, and web underscore output one as the output. Let I'm launching. So just I need to have the name of the job. So this one, friends, actually 002. Now let us go to this browser. Okay, browser. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Now you can observe here, friends. I'm sharing this browser information. Yeah. At the moment I am refreshing, you can now get the running jobs information. Just I am refreshing the data. See here, friends, 002 appeared. And at the moment you click this, it is showing us, yeah, map completed and reduce is still running. Okay. And if I am refreshing, just reduce also. So parallelly, whatever the outcomes you are having, you can simply verify the appropriate outcome related to these aspects. Okay, so this is what, friends, how you can observe the notation of how we are running the MapReduce and how you can make use of this the things. Okay, so this is the way how I can make use of the HDFS and MapReduce. I thought of I used the time efficiently, friends, because my friend Sabik has given only 1 hour. So I thought of giving Hadoop distributed file system and MapReduce logic for that. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much. Any doubts, you can ask me, friends. And by the way, I'll be sharing some contents with me because you can make use of those particular things. I explained the usage of Hadoop distributed file system, MapReduce. You can go through that. And if you exclusively, if you want to install those things, I will share my mail with permission of my friend, so that I will be sharing those particular things also. Okay. Any doubts, friends? Documentation, definitely I'll provide. Akash, definitely I'll provide. Yeah. You can have the Hadoop distributed file system, MapReduce, all those things with that channel. And I'll be sharing some kind of the installation procedure, which is very simple, friends. Thank you very much, Akash. Thank you for your, yeah, you have answered almost the queries. Any other queries, friends? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you share the recording?
Recording, yeah, Sabik, you can ask.
Yeah,
Sabik,
yeah. Recording will be shared in MS's channel. IEEE
Okay,
MS's channel is there. You can get it from there.
Okay,
Link will
good,
be available there.
Yeah. Okay, meantime, let me share my mail ID also. If you want to get the installation documents and all, just you ping me personally, friends. If any person interested to have the research of Hadoop, big data, machine learning, and data science, together will work, no problem. We can work together. Okay. So Sabik sir, I have done from my side, and if you are having any doubts, please share with me so that I can definitely answer.
Sure. If anybody contacts me to get you, I'll share your number too. Is it any problem?
Yeah. Okay. No issue. No problem. Better you share the mail so that based on.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. No? So that's all, dear all. Okay. Hope I have done my thing in a best possible way. Within the stipulated time, I want to cover this legendary subject. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Shall I leave, Sabik, sir?
Wait 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
Sabik, sir?
Yeah,
May
you can conclude. Yeah.
Okay. So this was a wonderful session. Actually, this MapReduce and Hadoop is a topic that we need 1 or 2 days to complete.
Yeah.
That is starting from installation and all. So in this 1 hour, I think that is not enough time to say all these things. But in this time, you have conveyed a very good idea about this topic, that is MapReduce and Hadoop. So on behalf of IEEE MSS, I thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. And we expect your cooperation in the future
100%.
participants also. Okay.
Definitely,
So,
definitely, I'll do that.
so participants, you can go through his YouTube channel and you will get more details from there also.
Yeah.
So without participants, the sessions will not be a success. So I thank all of you for coming to logging into this webinar, and it will be continued in all Thursdays 5:30. So you can register for that also. The next week's topics will be announced soon. So I thank all of you on behalf of IEEE MSS. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pan.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Sabik bhai. Bye. See you.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
So the feedback for participants, the
Yeah.
feedback
Yeah.
form is given in the chat box. You can fill that.
Okay.
Sabik sir?
Yeah.
Sir, I am leaving.
Ma'am, you can go. You can go. You have meeting, no? You have another meeting. Okay, you can.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.